Sophia, do you remember what the problem is?
The problem is Danny the duck doesn't want to swim in class.
Danny the duck does not want to swim in trash. So what are Dev and Yumi doing to try and solve this problem? Ethan.
Cleaning the pool.
They're going to clean the pond. How are they going to clean the pond?
Keeping something so the water can drip out and the trash can go in.
So the water can drip out and the trash can go in.
And making a trash collector.
Excellent, a trash collector. And Lucy said the same exact thing I was thinking, is they have two things they need to make sure they follow. They need to take out the trash, and they need to make sure the water stays in the pond. All right, chapter 4. Yumi looked down at the pile of paper shapes in front of her. Let's start testing, said Yumi, dipping her paper shape into the water. Uh-oh, said Dev. Looks like we've got a problem. The paper kept its shape for a second, but then it got all soft and squishy in the water. Yumi wrinkled her nose, and she dropped the paper on the floor, where it landed with a wet splat. Dev frowned. It looks like a pile of mush, he said. I guess paper isn't very strong when it's wet, said Yumi. Well, what else can we try? Dev rummaged through the kitchen drawer, and he brought back lots of different materials. He dumped a piece of plastic into the water first, and when he pulled it back out, it was still the same shape. This stayed pretty strong, he said. Yumi reached over and touched the plastic. It didn't feel squishy like the paper, and the water just rolled off of it really easy. She pulled out her engineering notebook. The paper was square when it was dry, she said, and she drew a picture. But now it's a soggy lump. The plastic was stronger. So maybe we should use plastic? Dev pointed to a pile of materials. Not so fast. We've got way more stuff to test. Let's get to work. Chapter 5, we'll put our bookmark in right there. All right, so what did Dev and Yumi try first in the water? Kylie?
Paper.
Paper. Was paper a good material to use?
No.
Why?
Because when you put the paper inside the water, it will rip.
It ripped. What else happened?
It gets soggy.
It got soggy. Did it hold its shape? What did they try next? Who knows?
Plastic.
Plastic. How did that work?
Good.
What happened?
They tried it out, and when Dev took the plastic out, it didn't feel soft, and it didn't do the normal shape.
It didn't turn soft. It didn't change its shape. It stayed plastic. So which do you think would be better, paper or plastic to use as a trash collector? Sunny?
Plastic.
Why?
Because it didn't sink.
It didn't sink. Didn't change its shape. It didn't get all soggy and gross and mushy.
And squishy.
All right, and squishy. Are you guys ready
Yes.
to be some engineers?
Yes.
Now, we've been asking lots and lots of questions. Which materials will work well in water?
That's why they're the bucket.
You guys are going to test out materials. Do you remember all the materials we had?
Yeah.
Now, the last time when we really were looking at the materials, we were exploring the materials on dry land. And we said, we could use these materials to pick up trash from the pond. And we thought the construction paper would work really well. The cheesecloth would work really well. The foam would work really well. The foil, the transparency or the plastic, and the screen. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 materials.
How did you get this green?
You did get 6 materials, and you thought all of them were going to work. Now today, we're going to really try them out in the water. Okay? Yesterday was your first time using your trash collector handles. Does everybody remember how they worked?
Yeah.
Excellent. You have the clothespin on the end. You're going to open it up by squeezing, and you're going to put a material on the end. And you have to hold it by the handle. Because remember, you don't want your hand going in that dirty pond. We're not touching the trash. Gross.
Yeah.
At your tables, you have a tray that's filled with water. You're going to put your trash collector handle with your material inside the water. Test it out. See what you notice. What do you see? Does it change? I have some questions I'm going to ask you in a second. All right? After you test it out, you're going to decide if it would make a good material to use as a trash collector or not so good. Here's your questions that I would like you to think about. You're going to be exploring materials in water. What do you notice? What's happening to the material? Is it like Dev and Yumi and the paper? Or is it like Dev and Yumi with the plastic? Does the material change now that it is wet? Because remember, we thought all of these are going to work. Do you still have that idea? Or did your ideas change? Now it's going to be in water. And then, last question, will this material work well as a trash collector? Why or why not? Because there's going to be a reason why you think it will, Brian, hands out. Or you think, this is definitely not going to work. Okay?
Under the trash and you take it out, it might
What is happening to that paper?
It ripped apart.
Why?
It ripped.
Why?
Because it was in the water too much.
It was in the water too long. Uh-oh. What's happening with yours, Millie, huh?
It's not the same.
It's not the same shape.
It's dark.
It got darker, too. It changes color a little bit. What do you think? Is that one going to be a good one?
It's getting a little soggy.
A little soggy? Which one? Maliha's? Do you think it'll hold up as a trash collector?
No.
Maybe not. We really tested out a lot of these materials. And our original thoughts were that all of these materials were going to be, oh yeah, good materials to use. And now, what do we think?
Some of them don't work.
Some of them don't work.
Some of them do.
And some of them do. Which materials do work as a good trash collector? These materials will work well to make a trash collector. Kylie, what's one of them? Foam. Foam is going to be a good trash collector material. Sunny.
Plastic.
Plastic. Plastic is going to be a good trash collector material. Huna. The screen. Good material. Our first question. What is the problem? What is the problem? Lucy.
Danny the duck has trash in his pond.
Danny the duck has trash in the pond. Our next question. How can we solve it? How can we solve it, Maliha?
Get the boil.
What are we going to make?
A trash collector.
Yes, a trash collector. We then took a look, Preston. What materials can we use? We put some more ideas together of the materials, and we asked which materials will work well in water. Now, we're going to put our ideas together. You have thought these materials work well. We've then tested them out in water. We figured out, you know what? We are now down to 4 materials we think are going to be really good. And these are our 4 materials. The next time, we're going to start to imagine how we put all of these ideas together. You guys did a fantastic job. Give yourself a round of applause. So in lesson 4 is when we start testing it in water, which is great because then kids start to really realize and experiment that some of the materials they thought were going to be perfect trash collector materials are not so great. They don't hold up well in water. They get squishy and soggy, and the shape that they started off with is no longer the shape that they have when it goes into the water. So after they test it out, they collect the materials that are the ones that they find to be the best trash collector materials. So we all come back to the rug and we put them in the center so we can kind of take a look at it. We start off by graphing them first so that the kids can really visualize how many of each of these materials that we thought as a class is going to be a good trash collector material. So they can visually see, wow, the screen, almost everybody thought the screen was a great trash collector material. After we collect all that information, we then move to the chart. So we tape only the ones that have the highest number of votes, so to speak, and that way that's going to be their reference. So when they see that chart, they can think back, oh yeah, that graph, I remember the screen was really high, the foam, there was so many foams on there.